Hey guys, welcome to my first PC case mod video, and this is my Cougar Spike case that I bought around 6 or 7 years ago, and I've actually used it ever since. It's actually still in a pretty good condition, and I just want to give it a bit of a makeover. I want to make it look kind of modern and customized at the same time. So that is gonna be our goal for this case, but the first thing I'd like to take care of is cable management. This case doesn't actually give you much options for cable management, and without modifications, this is kind of the best that I can do. It doesn't really look too bad, but definitely isn't looking great, especially over these parts where there's just a big mess of cables. The colors of the cables are just too loud and it doesn't look elegant. I plan to put a window on the side panel, so definitely we're gonna need good cable management. This side of the case is also flat, which means there's no room for cables behind the motherboard. And this is my best effort to hide my cables. So we're gonna be drilling holes and making new compartments for this case.
Alright, let's see what we can do here in terms of cable management. There are a few problems that is making the cable management very messy in this setup. First obvious reason is, unlike most cases today, there is no actual compartment for cable management in the Cougar Spike case. And second obvious reason is the cables are not black and only the wires for the 24-pin connector is sleeved. I got this power supply unit from a local shop when my older PSU broke and I needed to replace it right away. It's not brand new, and I got this supposedly 600 watts PSU for I think around 600 Philippine pesos. Though it works for me, I don't really recommend cheaping out on PSUs. Also, there are no holes for cables to go through behind the motherboard, so we will have to make one for the 4-pin connector, as well as a hole in the front side so we can install the cables once we rotate the hard disks to enable us to hide the SATA power cables to eliminate most of the mess that we saw earlier. I used masking tape to mark and cover the area that I'm removing, and I'm using a cheap rotary tool I bought from Lazada for the job. It works, but it's not powerful enough, and it took me quite some time to completely cut through the metal sheet of the case. I used a small file to smoothen out the edges made from the cuts to make sure it's safe for the cables and my hand. To solve the issue of the wires, I've cut a piece of sleeving from the old non-working PSU that I have, and I'm grouping all the wires that are not sleeved and covering only the wires that will be visible inside the case. I could have totally used a whole sleeve by dismantling the cables, but that's too much work, so I opted for the easier route: zip ties. Also, I don't recommend opening your PSUs because it can hold electric charges that may be dangerous for you. Now, I'm installing the HDDs facing inside so that we can hide most of the cables, and that's why I made this rectangle cut. And the smaller hole is for the 4-pin connector so that the wires won't have to cross in front. And it's a good idea to test fit the panels to check if the cable fits. And they do. Now to secure the wires with the masking tape and more zip ties. Another secret ingredient that we're adding in is a 90-degree adapter for the 24-pin connector, which makes the build look really clean, as well as some cable combs, all purchased online. They're not very expensive and they do a great job in making the build look clean. I use a separate power button to turn on my computer since my desk is quite small and my tower is below my desk. More cable combs for the SATA data cables, video card, and one more zip tie. Before and after. I'm quite happy with how this turned out, and you can definitely see the difference that the punching two holes made for my build. I think we're ready to install a window in this case, and if you want to see that, watch the part 2 of my first PC case mod video. This is my first time to modify a case, but I hope you're able to pick something up, and if there's any tips you'd like to give, let me know down in the comment section.